Okay, people, the Charlie Kirk shooter has been caught, and I am stunned. It's not a professional. It's a 22-year-old named Tyler Robinson. Okay, so we can't get any whiter than this. And yes, he's a young white male, 22, from Utah. And one of the things I need to say about this guy is I guess he should have joined the military and joined the sniper corps, because he's qualified. Now, I don't know what he would have been used for by the Reich or the United States of America over the course of his life. Probably not so wonderful things at times. Most of the time. So his services may have been misused. Most likely they would have been. Especially during this era of the Reich. So him becoming a sniper for us, the military, maybe that wouldn't have been a good idea. My point is, he fucking qualified, that's for fucking sure. Because, again, I've been telling you for several days, this has to be a professional. This person, one shot, one kill, gets out of there, vanished, no one knows. But I was wrong. He's not a professional, but he has been spending a lot of time, obviously, on marksmanship, on engraving bullets. So he had a lot of free time. But let's just start reading. I got a little BBC article because it's just easier than me trying to just tell you about it. And this is what the front page looked like. Can I make this brighter? Oh, it's as bright as it can go. Not used to the daytime. So that's him. It was the guy yesterday that we saw on camera with the hat and sunglasses. And remember the shirt he was wearing. That ain't a shirt a liberal wears. Now this person was he was registered to vote, but not for any party. So I guess you would call him, what, an independent? My point is, again, this is not a blue-haired transgender liberal who hates Republicans and all that. In fact, it's a young white male who was wearing an American flag t-shirt. The man accused of fatally shooting Charlie Kirk has been identified as Tyler Robinson, 22, a Utah native who had been living with his parents for a long time. That's in quotes. Authorities said. Well, yeah, obviously he had a lot of free time. Because bullets were engraved. They weren't engraved with what they tried to tell you they were engraved with, of course. So he lives with his parents. He was taken into custody 12th of September after a family member recognized him in surveillance images, a development investigators described as pivotal in ending a nationwide manhunt. His own father, actually. Mother and father are Republicans. I imagine if the gentleman would have shot a liberal, maybe they wouldn't have made him turn himself in. I have a feeling. The man accused of fatal, I already read that. The family member was apparently Mr. Robinson's father, who encouraged him to turn himself in. The BBC's U.S. partner CBS News has reported, citing two law enforcement sources. The father then reportedly contacted a family friend who informed the sheriff's office. So a family friend called on the kid. That's what happened. At a press briefing on Friday announcing the arrest, officials declined to discuss Mr. Robinson's background, political leanings. I bet they did. Or possible motive, saying the investigation was ongoing. Again, if it was a blue-haired liberal. Well, we were already subjected to several days of this gentleman's political leanings according to the Reich, making it up. Unfortunately, none of it's true. So I imagine, and plus, whenever it's a white male that does the shooting, you notice we don't really see who it is right away. They try and delay that part as long as possible. Because the narrative is in this country for a long time, white males are the biggest terror threat. Here we are again. So they don't like that narrative. So if it's not a white male that does the shooting, you're going to see that picture 2 seconds. Now, this time we had to have a manhunt, so you had to see his picture because they couldn't find him. And if it wasn't for his father and the family friend, they would have never found him, today. Who knows if they ever would have found him. So they didn't want to talk about the motive or his political leanings, of course. We are confident we have the right individual in custody, the FBI said, but we are still working to establish the full picture of who he is and why he acted. We got to craft our narrative better because he doesn't fit into what we wanted to sell. Blue-haired transgender liberal did it. Ah, shit, he's wearing an American flag t-shirt. It's a white kid. Ah, fuck, how do we spin this? Got to get our story straight here. How do we put this out in the public to make it seem like a liberal did it? Utah Governor Spencer Cox said a family member interviewed by investigators stated that Mr. Robinson had become more political in recent years. That's in quotes. The relative also said that during a dinner conversation before the attack, Mr. Robinson had stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate, and mentioned Kirk's upcoming event at Utah Valley University. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had, Cox said, referring to the conversation. Public records reviewed by BBC. Mr. Robinson had in the past registered as an unaffiliated or nonpartisan voter. So there goes the liberal idea, son. Oh no, how do we spin this? Matthew Carl Robinson, the suspect's father, and Amber Denise Robinson, the suspect's mother, are registered Republicans according to state record. Well, I can tell they're registered Republicans. You know how? By the t-shirt the young man was wearing. I can tell what a kind of upbringing he had by the clothes he had on, by his shooting skills. Robinson was not enrolled at UVU, the site of the shooting. And that's not the same as Utah State UVU. Because people were putting out a petition for Utah State that did not want Charlie Kirk to be there. And everyone was acting like this would have saved his life. No, this is UVU. It's a different college. Records reviewed by BBC Verify suggest he attended Utah State University in Logan for a single semester in 2021, possibly studying engineering. A photograph from that year shows him standing in front of the university's sign holding an acceptance letter. Perhaps this gentleman should have entered marksmanship competitions because he probably would have won them all. And this could have been a thing for his life. He could have won prize money. He could have, got prestige, fame in that community. He obviously has skill, and I'm not saying that to make fun of Charlie Kirk or anything. I'm saying that because I am stunned. This is a 22-year-old kid from the fucking woods. I so thought this was a professional. And it's a shame because this kid has a real skill that he could have used to make a life for himself. Not necessarily shooting people either. A photograph from that year shows him standing in front of the university sign holding an acceptance letter. Investigators say Mr. Robinson was steeped in online culture, pointing to inscriptions on shell casings. Okay, so here we get to the inscriptions on the casings. 2 casings displayed apparent references to online trolling humor. The inscription notices bulges OWO. What's this? On a fired shell casing may refer to a copy pasta, a piece of text that is repeated over and over again, often to troll people online. Another casing that was unfired was inscribed with the words, "If you read this, you are gay." LMAO. Again, an apparent reference to a trolling joke. So again, not transgender ideology on the bullets. Fox News crowd that put the lies out, and now they're gospel. Actually, he was saying you're gay if you look at this. If you read this, you are gay. That was on one of the unfired bullets. So not liberal transgender ideology, no. This is really what they want to say right here. Meanwhile, other casings could be interpreted as sympathetic to Antifa. Could be interpreted. That's how far they stretch in this bullshit. That t-shirt he was wearing could be interpreted that he's MAGA as fuck. Could be. But he was an independent. Or the anti-fascist movement, a loose collection of far-left activists who have been active in the U.S. over the last decade often demonstrate against Trump policies and far-right groups. Wow, that's so evil what Antifa is doing, right? And they're not even an organization. Antifa is like anonymous. Every person is anonymous who chooses to be. Every person is Antifa who chooses to be. There is no headquarters. There is no leadership. It is an ideology, son. Anti-fascism. So let's see what it said for the big trophy moment. One unfired casing had the words, "Hey, fascist," catch, an upright and 3 down arrows. He called Charlie Kirk a fascist, so he must be Antifa, liberal, tranny, all that, right? No. He must be anti-fascist, right? You could say that. Because again, it's an ideology. It doesn't mean he's part of any group or movement or anything like that. He just doesn't like fascism. That shouldn't be a liberal or conservative position. None of you should like fascism. That's why your country's over. Because a lot of you do. And you think it's going to go well for you. Because your fascist, your dictator, that you like, will be in charge. You are wrong. Hey, fascist, catch. Wow, that's just total liberal ideology there, man. And again, it shouldn't be. What does that say about your movement if you ain't down with anti-fascism? That says your movement is of Satan, son. That's what it says. The 3 down arrows alone could be a common symbol used for anti-fascism. A common symbol, you say? As a whole, the sequence of arrows could reference a cheat code in a video game, although this remains unclear and authorities have not yet released images of the casing. So, it could be from a damn video game. They trying to stretch it into something, boy. It went from transgender ideology on the bullets to hey, fascist. And if you look at it, you're gay. Quite a story change, wouldn't you say? I would. I knew it would go this way. I told you before. It happened. How long do we hear it was a transgender, blah, 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 blah. Exactly to the letter it went. I was wrong about who the man was that performed or executed this shooting. I can't believe it's a kid from... A second casing was inscribed with lyrics to the song Bella Ciao that honors World War II era partisans of the Italian resistance who fought Nazi Germany. Wow, that's really evil to celebrate the people that fought Nazi Germany. Right, Rubes? That's total liberal ideology, right, Rubes? No, that's called good. You're called evil. Authorities said Mr. Robinson also appeared to have been active on Discord, the social media platform primarily used by gamers, but now also popular with other communities. His roommate reportedly showed investigators a series of messages on Discord from a contact named Tyler referencing a rifle drop point and instructions about retrieving and hiding the weapon. Again, Discord, gaming community, it doesn't sound very liberal to me. In fact, it sounds very kind of right-wing. For now, Mr. Robinson remains in custody as prosecutors prepare for formal charges. The investigation into his background, motives, and potential affiliations continues in what officials are calling one of the most significant political killings in recent history. In other words, we're combing social media for anything we can call liberal. So we can put that out first. Because we already lied about transgender ideology being on the bullets, because that's what we do. When in fact the saying was, if you look at this, you're gay. That don't sound like a very liberal comment to me. They will make an example out of this person. He's also another one that may have been ripe for grooming. Living with his parents, not really any friends, no girlfriend. I don't know. All I know is two things. This person in no way is a liberal in any way. And just because he doesn't like fascism, that doesn't make you a liberal, son. That just makes you not like fascism. Or fascists. So that's the big trophy moment for the FBI. He's got a, hey, fascist catch on one of the bullets. He must be a liberal nutcase. That's their big moment. So again, two things. This isn't a liberal in any way, shape, or form. Two, they are going to make an example out of this person. And just because it all played out this way, I'm still not convinced someone wasn't grooming this person, getting them to do it. And again, I'm just stunned that this isn't a pro-military trained person. But, you know, you hear stories about guys from Kentucky and backwood areas that never had any formal training that can hit a squirrel at, 2,000 yards. So those guys do exist. This kid's one of them right here. And it's a fucking shame he didn't take his talent and, make a name for himself in the marksmanship community. Because it sounds like he belongs there and he had the skills that a lot of them don't even have. It's a shame we had to find out how skilled he is this way. Now this kid's life's ruined forever because of what he did. And he took out one of the Reich's top people. One of their top voices. They are gonna make an example of this kid. And if he ain't the first public execution, I'll be surprised. What is it really a result of all this? Well, the world we live in helps create all these people. It's a cold world. It's an unforgiving world, despite what we pretend it is. It's a very divided world, and boy, did that really start 10 years ago. We went from regular division to just division on fucking satanic steroids, authored by Donnie Shitbags. Our society is just disgusting, and there is a phenomenon going on social media, on the news, etc., where lies are tolerated, preached, and no one cares who dies as a result, whatever happens. Well, Charlie died as a result. You didn't see that coming, did you? You thought only liberals were going to die in this thing? Again, Rubes. Dead wrong. Top right-wing influencer shot dead in broad daylight. And no, it wasn't a liberal. Sorry. Don't worry. They'll spend the next few days trying to make him one. So now we know how it happened and what happened. The Mangione, whatever his name was, the guy that shot the CEO. Again, young kid. Young white male. Elon fan. Remember that? Not a liberal, son. Leon Scum fan. Wanted to be the next tech bro. Startup bro. Yeah, a little startup himself. Mr. Mangione. Is it Mangione? Mangione? I think it's Mangione. Not a liberal. Leon cultist. This kid, Discord, video game, community. We all know what goes hand in hand with that. Not a lot of liberals in the Discord gaming community, etc. We all know what kind of talk goes on there. All I can say is I'm stunned. I can't believe this is just some 22-year-old kid. Have a wonderful day. I just wanted to update you on that. I got shit to do. See you next time.